This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
Stuff went numb that shouldn't go numb, you know what I'm saying? I was like, what is going on?
No, I don't.
No, you don't.
And co-host Marney Winfield.
It was kind of an awkward thing. He's like, would you guys want to come along? Can you get away to come to the island? I'm like, yeah, we just got back from there.
It is the 12th of January, 2023. My name's Corey Winfield.
My name's Marney Winfield.
Welcome to the 217 Recovery Podcast. See, that was an example of good son and not so good daughter, I think. Is that what that is?
No, it was honest daughter.
Oh, because my mama and my family was like, hey, you want to come to Mackinac Island with us? And I said, sure. Grabbed my wife, let's go. Flew a drone, came home. It was great. And then like the day later, I think your dad was like, hey, you want to go to Mackinac Island with us? I think that's what he said. Was it something like that?
Yeah.
And you were like, no. But see, I was telling a guy this the other day. I was telling a couple people this the other day about life. And to me, it's about making memories. Mm-hmm. It really is. And I told the guy, I was like, no, went to Mackinac Island. And I take people up north a lot to go to treatment, and I have to cross the bridge. And I was thinking about it, I don't know, a month or so ago, and I think about it quite a bit when I crossed the bridge about our time on Mackinac Island and how fun it was. And we had some good barbecue. We got to fly a drone. We rode bikes. My arms went numb. But it was fun. It was good. But if you, and I tell this guy, I was like, if you asked me like the day after I got home, was that fun? I'd be like, man, we spent so much money. I'm so tired. It was running, and but we made memories, you know, and that to me is what life's about. And I was telling the guy that, and he was like, yeah, you know, my son, he wants to go shoot his gun. He wants to do this stuff and that stuff. And I was like, sometimes it's as simple as, hey, Friday nights, you and the kids go get ice cream, you know, like, especially when they're little, you know, you can really instill those memories in their head of like good stuff and fun stuff that they'll carry on with their kids, you know, and it's about memories, man.
Absolutely.
It really is. And the more good ones you put in there, obviously, because the bad ones, they work just the same, you know, and I think a lot of people, you know, that's our problem too, is the childhood trauma.
Yeah. And I think lots of times it doesn't have to be things. It doesn't have to be stuff, right? It doesn't have to be monetary, you know. I guess I used to call it Disneyland dads, and I know that's stereotypical because there's Disneyland moms too, where it's like they have to go somewhere and do something, and it needs to be big and expensive and, you know, crazy exciting. It can be something extremely simple. You know, that's when you make the memories, when it's, you know, just enjoying time together and having fun and experiencing one another as a family.
I remember being young and, you know, I brought up ice cream, but we didn't go. I mean, every once in a while we'd go get the ice cream or whatever at the ice cream shop. But my dad, they would have some at the house. But I remember one of the best times, and you know, me and I don't like fish and water. My dad's kind of the reason I don't like fish. But I'll get into that at another time of my choosing. But we would walk down to the lake, and we'd swim in the lake, and it was fun. And then we'd come back, and we'd be like, you guys, when we got home, we're going to have some ice cream. And we'd be like, yeah. And it was just so much fun. And it was just me, my brother, and my dad, you know, and it was so cool. And we had such good memories like that, you know, young growing up when I was super young. So those are the memories that, you know, I still remember, you know. So those are the memories that people can make with their kids and their family. And you look back at it and you go, yeah, that was fun, wasn't it?
I have a question for you. Mm-hmm. Did you just say you swam in a lake?
Yeah.
You swim in lakes?
No.
What happened?
Man.
All right. I guess this is my time of choosing. So my dad, he thought he was funny. And I was a big fan of the show. You're probably too young. Called Popeye.
Yeah.
Popeye the Sailor Man.
Sure.
Used to go swimming with bare naked women. Oh, no, that's a different version. Anyway, I was a big fan of Popeye. And I wanted to be big and strong like my dad. And he's like, oh, see, this is spinach. And he was pulling it out of the lake. And see, what it really was seaweed. And he was like, oh, watch, I'm eating some. And he was like, oh, but he was like fake eating it. And like, I just saw it from the side, you know, I was like, oh, so he was like David Copperfield, you know, like my dad should have been like magician. So I'm like, oh, so my dad jumps in the water and I'm like, screw you guys. I'm eating all the spinach because I want to get big and strong. So I'm just on the shore there, just eating some seaweed. And my dad comes like, oh my God, son, what are you doing? I was like, I'm gonna be big and strong. So that was the first check mark that I'm not a big fan of the water. But then we went down there one of those magical times, and he's like, wow, look at that, son. And like right very close, because there was like a pier. And as you go out, you know, obviously it gets deeper, but there's like these big pillars, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you know. And it was by like the first pillar, which is very, very close to the shore. There was a shark. It was as big as Jaws. And it was going to eat my leg off if I got in the water. So that's what did it. I was like, you know, those things are swimming so close to the shore. I really don't want to be here. Now, my dad will say it was a catfish, but that sucker was as big as the Titanic.
You were in fresh water?
Yeah.
And there was a
little
shark,
Pawpaw Lake.
Shark as big as Jaws?
You know, and it had whiskers.
It's not a shark.
But it was so scary and ugly. And that's what I said, no thanks. There were times where I would force myself to go in the water, but I'd rather not, because they're in there and they're just waiting to bite you. Yeah, no thanks. I'm going to just stay over here and play with this seaweed.
When's the last time you swam?
Like in a lake?
In a body of water. Not like a bathtub.
Any body of water? Like a pool?
Sure.
Maybe my physical therapy for my back. I don't know. Like they made me like float in this thing and put some weights on. I was like, all right.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah, I'm not a real big fan of the swimming. And just, I don't know, like, especially public pools. No thanks. You know how much piss and poop is in there?
Right. Well, you're not supposed to drink it.
I don't want it on my body, thanks. I already have skin problems. I don't need some little kid's pee-pee getting it. Oh, but they put bleach in it, do they? Did you see the guy at the desk? Did it really, like, they couldn't even bring you towels on time. You think they're really putting the bleach in the pool? Oh, they got a pool guy for that. You really think he's showing up? You think they're paying a legit pool guy? Maybe we need to step up our game today, but our hotels, I don't know. Just saying. And then like a lake, man, I was tricked. I don't know. I was probably 21, 22. And I was riding what do they call those? Like snowmobiles, but they're not.
Jet ski?
Yeah, a jet ski. We should play that game more often. We're good at it. So yeah, I was on a jet ski and they're like, you don't have to tip over. You won't tip over if you just blow the door. And man, I get in the middle of this damn lake and I tipped over. And man, I was running on top of the water like they do in cartoons. I was like, doo, 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 doo. Like, get me out of here. It's freaking out, man.
So not a water person, not a water sports, not okay.
No,
I knew that already, but I was just
trash.
I was just challenging that you were a swimmer.
Yeah, the people who ate that, I don't know. Like that's all they had to survive was nasty ass fish, and that's what they did. I don't know. Ugh, it's disgusting. Even thinking about it. If I was president, I would ban fish.
Oh.
I'd ban fishing, and I'd be like, "Oh, it's so inhumane."
Just because you don't like it doesn't mean everybody else doesn't have to.
I'll put a twist on it. But like this is fish. They do have feelings.
Well,
they have
what
nerves.
What would you benefit from other people not enjoying fish?
I wouldn't have had to smell it at restaurants.
Really? You're that selfish?
One time I was at this nice restaurant, right? And it was this, actually, because I had worked so many hours at the radio station, because I like this dude, and see, here's what people say, oh, marijuana is not a drug. Okay, first of all, it is a drug. Everybody knows that. But this dude that worked at the station with me, he was into the weed. So was I at that time. But he just decided he wasn't going to go to work anymore. So I had to do my shift. Plus I had to fill in for him being the creative services director. And so like I worked my ass off like a lot for like 2 weeks. And so the boss was like, hey man, go have dinner on us. And I was like, all right, well, I'm getting effed up, so we better call us a cab too. And they're like, okay, that's cool. And it's funny because I told my boss to show up. I was like, show up. We got to open, we got the credit card, you know? So my boss showed up. That was pretty funny. My other boss, that was like the head boss. This was like my direct boss I told to show up. Anyway, I'm at this restaurant. I know, long story. Back to the fish again. And the person I'm with ordered shark or some crap like that. And the waiter came out and spilled it. And there was like juice everywhere. And like it went all over the table, all over my pants. So it smelled like fish. So to stop that from ever happening again, I would ban fish and tell people how inhumane it is to fish the seas of the world.
Well, I'm glad that you don't go to extremes
Thanks.
with these ideas.
I appreciate it. It's just keeping it real. You know, that's what I do.
That's what's up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So how was your day?
My day was good. It was very productive.
That's good.
You know, like when you worry about stuff that you have no control over.
Mm-hmm.
It was like that, but then it was actually happening and kind of how I had planned it out in my head and how logic actually started working in my favor. It was really good.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, we have some good news that we'll announce soon, but I'm pretty excited.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I'm not counting them till they hatch.
It's something, yeah.
I mean, they're in the basket. We just got to see them babies hatching. And I'm not talking about us and a baby. We're not announcing that we're expecting just yet, but hopefully that'll be soon as well. We be trying. We be trying.
That's what's up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I know what you're saying. But how was your day?
It was good. I'm exhausted.
You had a very interesting day the other day when you went to class.
Which one?
When you were in and you're like, I gotta go. And I made a delicious pizza, I think, that day. And
Oh,
like,
God.
I got to go.
Can I disclaim? I have not told anybody that except for I told my supervisor today about that because I was like, I gotta tell you the story. She's like, what? Because she's like, how are things going? How, tell me. I want to know little things and big things. Da, da, da. And I was like, you want to hear something funny? So second day of class, and I thought I was like checking all the boxes, right? Had my syllabus printed out so I could actually see it physically in front of me. Had my computer, even though I was in class, so I was like, I'll bring it along just in case I want to look something up. Had my textbook that I had ordered, it got there on time. Yeah. My notebook for in case I need to take notes.
Shit.
A new folder for any handouts.
Damn.
Check the box, brand new highlighters. I'm ready to go.
Prepared.
And I had zipped home from a whole day of work like I had expected. Like, had shoved some Ritz crackers into my mouth with some cheese dip just to like get through. And you're like, I'm making a pizza. And I'm like, I bet you it's going to be delicious, but I got to go. So I get to class. It's like 5 minutes till I park the car, run up the stairs. I go to the assigned room and there's nobody in the room. I'm like, oh man. Well, I know this is the only meeting place that this campus has for this program. So what am I missing here? I literally drop my bag, open my binder, and I read the syllabus, and it's like asynchronous and synchronous. Didn't read that part.
What does that mean?
It means that it's partially on Zoom and partially independent study. I was under the impression it was partially in class, partially Zoom. But so joke's on me. The class is about to start in like 35 seconds. So I was like, well, I guess I just got to bust open the computer and found a table. And it was nice. I'm like, I can do this. We're like 20 minutes into class. And of course, I get this alert on my computer, battery low. Didn't bring my charger. It's a 3-hour class. Ain't no way I was going to make it through this entire class. So I just rode that baby out until the very last second. It shut down. I got in my car. I texted one of my classmates. And I'm like, can you please tell the professor that I left my charger at home and I need to go back. I didn't tell her where I was. It's like, this is embarrassing enough. I don't need to go into it. with my class, even though they wouldn't have cared, because the first class that we had, the one girl didn't even show up. She texted the professor and was like, "Nope, nobody's logged in," and she's like, "That's because we're all sitting in class here." So at least I didn't do that.
Yeah.
So anyway, it worked out, but we all overlook things, and sometimes when you're just go and you don't look at the details, that was a harmless mistake, but should I have taken more time to look it over? Probably. And avoided that extra drive to the university center. I was like, I'm coming home. You're like, what? I'm like, I'm stupid. It's like, I don't want to even go into it right now.
I thought you needed another charger because I bought you an extra charging cord for you to keep in your bag. And I think there was a time or two where you left it some other place. So I just thought, we need to get you another, which apparently we do.
Well, I'm at home, right? And then I have work, my job, and I used it there. And then I have my internship, which is another office, which is there.
So
and
for
then
every office you have, you need another charging cord. You can't just keep that one in the bag. And
because it's annoying to keep it in the bag.
Because then you got to get it out and plug it in, and it powers up.
No, because sometimes I don't need it. Just that time I did.
Yeah, that's the point. But I don't know. Your birthday's coming
anyway,
up.
this is the topic of today is learning lessons of life.
Mm-hmm.
And don't sweat the small stuff too. So
yeah,
it's all right. Everything's good.
Everything happens for a reason. It was funny because I was talking with Justin today, and he was like, because he has this job or whatever, but he likes it, and he thinks he has enough free time to do other stuff, but he really doesn't, because he's like, I'm supposed to be on call and doing that. But he's like, sometimes I just wish I'd get another job, and I tried to get this other job and nobody would hire me. I tried this other one, nobody would hire me. And I was like, maybe God's trying to tell you something, man. Just because you want it to go the way you want it to go doesn't mean that's the way it's supposed to go. And he'll probably look back at that, and I'm sure he will in a year or two, and go, huh, yeah, I wasn't supposed to have those other jobs, even though I thought at the time that I could squeeze another one in while I'm on call and nobody would know. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, that's not the plan.
Right.
And it's kind of funny how you kind of look at that sometimes, but it is the plan.
Yep.
Not your plan. And that's hard for some people to accept, especially in early recovery, because we want it to go our way all the time. And then, like, this stuff that we're about to tell good news about, hopefully in about a week or two, but, like, I was getting so frustrated because, and maybe this is part of the addicted brain, addict brain, whatever you want to call it, is I'm important, damn it. Everybody should know what I'm thinking. Everybody should know when I raise my hand that you should be looking at me. Oh, yeah, I put it down, but I did have it up for a minute. You should have seen it. You should call on me next. That kind of attitude. And then I really had to take a hard look at it and go, well, am I really trying? I've talked about this on the podcast before, I think. And it's like, what am I doing? Am I doing enough to even be noticed? And here I am thinking that people are just, Corey's on top of the list. I'm thinking about Corey Winfield. No, they're not.
Right.
But in my brain, they should be. Sure. But am I doing anything to make them? No. So I don't know. It was back in August or something. And that's when I was like, man, I got to reevaluate this, because I'm not doing the stuff that in my brain I think I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And I had you kind of reach out to some people, and that was a good thing. And then everything kind of has fallen into place from there. But sometimes, until we really step back and look at things, are we really doing what we think we're doing? Are we doing enough? It's easy to sit back and bitch about everybody else not doing things right, and oh man, they never include me in anything. It's easy to do that. It's easier to do that than it is to look in the mirror and go, are you really doing as much as you think you are? Mm-hmm. When's the last time you sent an email to them? Wasn't that long ago, and then you look back and it was like a year ago, and you're like, well, I sent that then.
Right.
Well, people have lives.
Well, and same thing too with like just extracurricular stuff, like that's, like I don't ever do anything. Really? Nobody ever invites me to go anywhere. Why don't you invite people to go places? Yeah. Like you say there's nothing, you don't ever have any outings because nobody ever invites you to go anywhere. And call a bunch of people, What do you want to go do? You want to get together some people, go to a movie? Do it, You You want to get people together and go out and have a bite to eat? Do that. Go bowling? Do that.
If you can't
go
get
to
anybody
Dave
go
and
with
Buster's or whatever that weird arcade thing that's out in like Gran.
I have no idea.
Moe's Sports or something. I don't know what it's called. Anyway, ride go-karts in the summertime. I don't know what people like to do.
But if they don't go with you, then maybe it is something you need to change. Maybe you have a shitty attitude. Maybe the one moping around the house. Nobody, nothing to do. Nobody ever wants to. Maybe look in the mirror. Are you that guy? Are you that gal? Are you that dog? Whatever people. That's another whole podcast we're gonna do sometime next week, probably. But yeah, see what your role is in it, and yeah, are you going out of your way, like Marney said? Are you inviting the people? Don't just sit back and wait. Mm-hmm. You got an idea, you want to do something fun, go do it. When I would get home, when I lived at sober living in Boyne City, I'd get home and I'd be like, all right, we're going to the 5 o'clock. I got 3 seats. People were running to my car. Like they wanted to go with me because first of all, they knew it was going to be fun. And they needed to hit 5 meetings that week. And here's one, so it was very cool. And people knew and we'd pack them in, as many as I could. But yeah, there were guys in the house going, well, I'm not going to go with Corey because he's sucks.
He's Corey.
Yeah, he's stupid. And I don't know. I don't like him. He's all sober and stuff. He's having fun. I'm sit here and be miserable because nobody likes me because nobody wants me to do anything with them. Ugh. There was a bunch of dudes like that.
Like the Eeyore complex.
Yeah. Or they just felt they weren't cool enough, and they're probably right. Just throwing it out there. Like they're just saying that stuff could have happened.
Could have.
That's what's up, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we know. I know what you're saying. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for tonight's episode. Because I'm getting the look again.
No, there's no look. This is my eyes fault. Actually, going to sleep.
Did you notice earlier I didn't say nuts or balls?
Yes, I did. You censored yourself.
Yeah, because I knew. And I know you listened to a little bit of the podcast that Adam and I did the other day.
I did. It's funny. It's funny when you let your hair down.
When the cat's away, the mice will play.
Yeah, I know.
Did you hear the part about the cardboard?
No.
Okay.
I need to listen to that part.
No, I think it's deleted.
Oh, is it?
No. Yeah, listen to that episode if you missed it. It's pretty interesting, and I get a little crazy because I didn't have Marney sitting across from me checking my ass. No, but appreciate you listening, and I think we'll talk to you on Saturday.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Have a great evening.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. Win a bunch of free shit from 217 Recovery. Go to the app or the website, 217recovery.com.